Hey all, Brendan here, aka Cliff Jumper. Welcome back to the channel, and we are diving back into the Sequoia project because the last time we addressed the VSC traction, check engine lights, all the magical lights that go on the dash, we failed to find the actual cause, and it's not what you would think. So follow along. I'm going to show you a couple of tips and tricks to diagnose this if you were just banging your heads against the wall with it. So as mentioned, or maybe you followed the previous videos where we've delved into the common issues that arise with the check engine light, the VSC traction light, the ABS light, and the brake light all coming on in various combinations. Now, theoretically, you should be able to plug a scanner in and read the codes and figure out what's going on. The problem is, well, two problems. The generic OBD codes lead you to a variety of things that you still have to troubleshoot and figure out. So one of the codes could be a bad purge valve. It could be a bad valve over here. It could be a bad gas cap. It could be back under here, the evaporator charcoal canister up in there. It could be the fuel neck itself. It could be a sensor on top of the fuel tank, which is in there. It could be bad O2 sensors. Many things it could be. And you got to go and test all of those things to find out what's going on with it. We went through all of those on our Sequoia, and we could still not figure out why that check engine light was coming back. And we were having some ghost codes with our ABS system. Now, I'll call it ghost code because they would come and go, but when they showed up, we'd have a light on the dash, and we couldn't scan the ABS module to find out what the codes were most of the time. Sometimes we could, but most of the time we'd scan it and it would say no communication from the ABS. So if you have had the no communication, most likely somebody has told you, oh, it's a bad ABS module, and you've replaced maybe the control module here for the ABS, which is exactly what we did. Brand new module, and still no communication. So what gives? Well, let's talk about that for a second. Underneath the dash here is this wonderful, helpful thing. Where is it? The OBD2 connector, which hangs out back here, and that allows you to plug in a scanner and read the codes. However, this is kind of a challenging location for them. Things get banged into them, and lo and behold, they can break. The wires themselves can go bad, and the sensor can need to get repinned, or the wires behind them can need to be repaired, and it has to be repinned, which was the case with ours. Now, I beat my head against the wall for many hours trying to figure this out, and I eventually had to phone a friend and say, help me out, because I cannot figure out what the heck is going on. Why can't I scan this? Why is it scanning intermittently? Why am I getting codes every once in a while, but not all the time? Why is this the thing? And so they spent some time in it, and they discovered that in our case, sure enough, our connector back there had issues. So we weren't getting intermittent power to the ABS control module, and that was causing a variety of glitches in our system. So did I replace our ABS controller without needing to? Yeah, probably. So before you go replace yours, it might behoove you to check out that OBD2 connector and make sure that it isn't actually the issue, because that does not come up in any of the troubleshooting lists in the factory repair manual. None. Zero. So FYI, new thing to add to the list in our 20-year-old vehicle. Check out the OBD2 connector if you're getting these phantom codes. You can't scan them consistently, or like you saw with one of my scan tools, it was losing connection constantly while I was trying to connect with it. I thought it was a problem with the scan tool itself. The company, Blue Driver, sent me a new scan tool thinking it had gone bad, and then the new one did the exact same thing. So it turned out to not be that, but my car itself. So check that out if that might be an issue with you. The other thing is, we had replaced this purge valve along the way because it had tested bad. Put in a new one. And this is not the first time in the last few months that this has happened to me, where I've tested something, it has tested as bad, I've bought a brand new part and installed it, assuming that the brand new part would work perfectly and solve the issue, and that was not the case here. The brand new purge valve we installed turned out to be intermittently bad. The only way we found this out is because my buddy, who spent some serious time diagnosing it — by the way, if you are in the San Diego area and you need work done on your Toyota truck or your Lexus, head over to the truck shop in the Miramar area. They are experts. They're super booked, they're super busy, and they're busy for very good reasons, because they know their stuff. So they tracked down both of these issues, both with my OBD2 connector giving me the ABS issues, as well as they figured out that when the vehicle was running their scanner, once they had solved the OBD2 connector problem, they were able to run their scanner and monitor all the activities of the motor, and they saw that that purge valve was intermittently sending back a high frequency that it should not have been sending back. So it was failing. So it was intermittently sending this high-pitched signal back and feeding back through the system, and it should not have been, which indicated that it was intermittently failing. So some of the times it was working. When I was testing it, it was working. When they tested it initially, it was working. But when they tested it under load and monitored it over a period of time, they saw that it was failing intermittently. So bad valve, hence I've got another brand new one. This time, instead of going with an aftermarket replacement, I went with the actual factory part. Spent a little bit of extra money on it, but I'm just gonna roll the dice at the factory one's maybe a little bit better quality than the one that I got from AutoZone. No offense to AutoZone, I buy tons of stuff at AutoZone, but apparently lately their sensors and valves and things of that nature are absolute junk, because this is like the third time in recent months that I've had a brand new part fail right out of the box. So we're gonna replace that, and everything on this car should be good. I hope that helped you out. By the way, if you would make sure you hit like and maybe subscribe to the channel if you're interested in my content, that'd be super helpful. And we will come back to you pretty soon, because there are some other projects we need to engage with. We are coming back to having to deal with the headlights again. So this time I'm actually gonna put the 2K coating on it with the UV protectant, and that should keep them for a while. We need to do the brakes on the car pretty soon, and leave me a comment. Let me know if you think I should do the Lexus GX 470 brake upgrade on this car. What I understand is they're just a little bit bigger calipers. They're the same kind of 4-piston calipers that this already has on it, but they're a little bit bigger, a little bit more clamping force, a little bit more sweep area on the pads, and it can fit a little bit bigger brake rotor. So let me know if you think I should dive into that or just stick with the ones that we have on here, and I will let you know what we end up going with. God bless. See you soon. Bye-bye.
And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to say goodbye. We'll be back.